Tuesday, the 11th of February 2025. Good afternoon, Namibia. The time is exactly 15 minutes past, 29 minutes was the hour, 3 o'clock. Good afternoon, Namibia and beyond, and a very warm welcome to the Government Information Center. For this afternoon, I will be your host, Hileni Felipe Samunyela, and I am joined in the studio by the Deputy Minister of ICT, Honorable Modestus Amte, and he's here to brief the Namibian nation on the daily briefings of the funeral arrangements of the late His Excellency Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma. Honorable Deputy Minister, good afternoon, and welcome to the Government Information Center. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, Namibia. I have a public announcement to make regarding the arrangement during this time of mourning, as we are mourning the departure of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, His Excellency Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma. A reference is made to our previous announcement regarding public gatherings and celebrations. Following the decision of Cabinet and further public inquiries, the following guidelines are now applicable. 1. State events of a commemorative or celebratory nature are suspended. 2. Sports events are allowed in limited instances for preparatory purposes and without spectators. Sporting codes that are traveling outside Namibia are not affected by the directive. 3. Scheduled school athletics will proceed, guided by the necessary decorum of national mourning. 4. Private events, while not prohibited, especially if pre-planned, the public is encouraged to adhere to the decorum that is consistent with the mourning period. Furthermore, the public is hereby advised that the official memorial services will start today at 1800 hour at his residence. Visitors are allowed from 1400 hours to 1600 hours, and the contact people are Desmond Amnyela at 0811 249 863, Shafa Nujoma at 081 4773 189. Comrade Kashindi Usiku at 0815 733 868. Other logistical arrangements will be announced in due course. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister, for that critical information. Indeed, it is very critical for us as a nation to observe as such. Now, at this juncture, I would like to call on the media practitioners or journalists in the House who have questions for the Honorable Deputy Minister to briefly step closer to the podium, briefly introduce yourself and the media house you represent, and briefly put your questions to the Honorable Deputy Minister. All right.
Good afternoon, DM. My name is Shaligan Peterson. I'm from the Namibian newspaper and Desert Radio. There are a couple of questions we have. Number one, What law informs the national period of mourning? According to our knowledge, is that you are working with the National Services Act. But even the National Services Act does not stipulate what exactly a mourning period is. Number two, in your statement you released yesterday, you said, cautioned Namibians against events or gatherings that are deemed as disrespectful. What exactly, can you just define what you mean by gatherings deemed as disrespectful? Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. These are good questions indeed, because by responding to them will shed more light to the general public, and information is needed for the public to have the correct information and behave in a manner that prescribed best to the condition we found ourselves today. The first question regarding the authority that command our actions as government to ask for the nation to mourn the person of this caliber in a style that we are commanding, which is to do it in a respectful manner, not to engage in activities that are otherwise might be deemed as not giving the necessary honor that we believe the founding president deserved, does not need regulation. It needs our able thinking that if we are mourning a person that we so respect, and surely the Namibian people respect and have been respecting the founding president, the best way to do it is to do it in a style that best ascribed to that. And the best style that ascribed to that, in our opinion, is that of showing respect by not probably parting, is one of the examples. Because the statement I made yesterday also talk about entertainment or commemorative events. In fact, we use the word in a style of celebration. So when we are mourning, we don't celebrate at the same time. So that is definitely the understanding that we want to send out to the public. Indeed, we are dealing with a public, a knowledgeable public, a public that is understandable, and we believe the public will be in the best position also to determine what celebrative activities may be. And those are the activities we are saying we are urging the nation to restrain from. And that's the reason why we are also not quoting any law, because we are talking to our people, the Namibian people, that this is the condition we found ourselves in, and that is the best we can honor the departure of our leader. That's to do with the first question. The second question is to define a large gathering, I guess, if I still remember the question very well. Of course, again, that is for us to use our understanding and interpretation of what could constitute a large gathering. And again, it was attached to the condition of entertainment or celebrative activity. So because the word celebration was constantly used, so that we can create the best understanding of what we mean with a large gathering. Large gathering, for instance, the churches are not included in that restriction, because we know people still have to go to church. We know that people have to go to school. They have to go to work. Those activities are not restricted. There are also certain activities like a presentation indoor somewhere at a certain office, because this was a planned activity, probably even, or is just planned for the purpose of the continuation of service delivery. These are activities that we are saying should continue. So, and then you find activities like trading. These are also activities that we say should continue, because trading, in our view, cannot be associated with celebrations. So, and definitely trading is, in a way, is also to solve a need in a way, maybe because it's a shopping complex and people will still have needs, they will still go there to buy their things. So these are in our view and focus the activities that are to continue. Also with regard to school activities, I have learned that some schools have suspended their indoor or in-yard or in-house sporting activities, and that's why we are also making this clarity today to say no, these are not the activities we are referring to, because in our view, these are part of our education programs, and therefore they should be allowed to continue just like sporting activities. For instance, for the preparation of participating in an international event, we must allow these people to exercise so that they can go and represent us as fit as they ought to be. I don't know whether I have answered your question to your satisfaction, but that is definitely what we meant by that.
But Deputy Minister Shaligan, you have some more to add?
Yes, I have follow-up questions. Simply because common knowledge is not that common, as we learned during COVID. Can you maybe define what is the quorum of national mourning? And I am emphasizing on this point simply because we had a lot of comments and calls as a result of people not really gauging the understanding of what is meant by period of national mourning. And number two, there's a lot of criticism towards government's decision to suspend sporting events, with some saying that at the end of the day, President Nujoma loved sports and kept fit all the time, as you just mentioned, keeping fit. And he would not have agreed with sporting events being suspended. Perhaps you can just give a comment on that last part where Namibians are saying, but founding president would not have agreed to sports events being cancelled. Thank you.
Thank you very much. National decorum refers to a time when people have to behave in a certain way. And this way would be a way that ascribe to mourning. When people are probably mourning, they behave in a certain way. One would not believe that even in a normal style of living, when we have people that we are mourning, our friends, our relatives, we mourn in a style that can distinctively be separated from activities of celebration. So that is the decorum we are referring to, saying at the moment the nation is mourning the departure of our founding president. And we should then adhere to a condition that any person would agree with, that it's ascribing to the situation in which we found ourselves. So that is definitely what we are referring to, and we expect our people to make their own contribution, a contribution of understanding at least. Government is not to suppress the rights of anybody or the freedom of anybody. We are simply saying as a nation, how can we live together, mourn together in a style that that sanction an environment in which we found ourselves. So sporting activities, again, I have explained. I explained schooling activities that are attached to sporting, because schools normally this time have sporting programs, and we said those ones should continue. Again, we said there are people who are preparing for certain activities, sporting activities outside the country. We said they can continue. But the environment which we do not want to encourage, and again I use the word encourage, is the situation where we have spectators, you know, clapping hands and doing all kinds of things that otherwise would be interpreted by others as not properly ascribing to an environment where we are mourning. So that is actually what we are communicating.
Shaligan, are you satisfied? One last? Yes. Okay, briefly.
DM, we are getting questions on our social media platform as well. What will be the consequences if, let's say, we have a event continue, let's say something as big as Kasi Vibe, which is popular among the youth? What if an event like that continues despite government urging people not to do it?
Consequences thereof.
Thank you very much. The question is clear and is very, very important. Look, we are Namibians, and if we are mourning the departure of our founding president, we are not doing it for anybody else. So my belief is that we will all understand the situation and adhere to the conditions in which we found ourselves and respect that. Mm-hmm. So, of course, in any event, you will find people who will behave otherwise, but it's not what we will encourage. Mm-hmm. That's the best I can say. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Thank you. In absence of any more questions from the House, I believe everything that has been said here this afternoon is clear. I'd like to thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister, for making time this afternoon to come and update the Namibian nation on the daily briefings of the funeral of the late His Excellency Dr. Shafiishuna Nujoma, the founding president of the Namibian Republic. Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Minister.
I thank you very much, and I thank the people of Namibia. We will continue to update the nation from time to time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Well, Namibia, that is all the time we had for this afternoon's briefing. Please do join us again next time. Be on the outlook on our social media pages. We will make daily updates, and the official briefings will be done here at the Government Information Center. For myself, Hileni Felapa-Samunyela, and the entire GIC production crew, until next time, take care.